Hey y'all, it's Lippy. Hope your day's going good. Okay, I'm about to show y'all something. Y'all, I hit the mother load. I am not kidding you. I saw last month, this was at Walmart, and I'm sure it's at other stores. Walmart's close to us. About a month ago, I saw a bunch of people over by the meat. And they was just filling their buckets, their buggies. So I went over there and I started looking and I was like, well, this ain't a sale. But I noticed a yellow sticker. I said, So it dawned on me, this is the second week of the month we're going into. I'm going to go early morning. And I did. So I'm about to put some meat up. And we're going to can some meat too. But y'all, I got this for 50 and 60% off. And it says, I quote, use or freeze by 8/10/2022. Guys, I kid you not. I just saved $6.38 on 2 pounds of extra lean ground beef. That's what I saved. Flank steak. You know, that's the toughest of all cut meats. Flank steak makes the best jerky. Jerky is something that my husband dearly loves. And he's not had it in about a year because it's just not in budget. He doesn't know that it's in budget today. So I'm going to get it marinating because I'm about to dehydrate this tomorrow and make him some jerky. But y'all, I saved $8 a package. I paid $6 and a penny. For this one, I saved $10.47 and I paid $7.89 for this one. Now, they didn't have any chicken though. Ground pork, there again. Use or freeze by 8/10/22. Now, I still paid $3.26 for a, let's see, is that a pound? No, I'm sorry, it's 1.5 pounds. Oh, bonus, 1.5 pounds because it's 24 ounces. I paid $3.26 for this ground pork. I got 2 of them. So that means I ended up with 3 pounds of ground pork for $6.50, 54 cents, 52 cents. You can't beat that. I've also got some country ribs. That's what I'm going to make my pork tips out of for this video. But I'm going to show y'all my stash. Y'all take a gander at this. You can't beat this, y'all. So you know why I showed y'all that? Because I didn't have to. But when I was checking out, because this is all that I bought. I went in for a purpose. Or to see. As soon as I grabbed it, I went to self-checkout. Home I came. Because I'm actually going to take the ground meat and the ground pork and put it in 1/2 pounds. Because that's all it is for Buddy and I. If I have more, I'll just bring 2 packages out. So I'm going to freeze bag that meat. But looking at all this and coming home, I was tickled. I was like, yes, Lippy did good, okay? Still didn't get the chicken. That's okay. I got plenty of chicken. But it got me to thinking. And I hope I don't offend anybody. But if I do, well, I'm sorry. But, you know, you might need to check yourself. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I'm being truthful. Because you see, There is so many people that knows what's coming over the horizon. You know, Ray Charles could see it. So we're already aware of it. But the worst thing we could do is shove this, you better garden, you better get a cow, you better get a pig, you better. Well, guys, I'm here to tell you, I've been there and I've done that. I hope to be there again. But I know there's a lot of new subscribers that's watching Lippy. I know I get the emails. We just got our raw land. Or we're selling and trying to do this and we're doing that. Well, let me tell you something. Be prideful that you hit the bonus at Walmart, okay? There's too much of this chatter. You got to be organic. You got to grow your... Yes, there's a lot of truth. But you're forgetting there's millions and millions and millions of people out there that don't have the means to do it. We have the property now. Are we there yet for infrastructure? No way, Jose. So I'm not going to let this stigma, this chatter make me feel bad because I bought meat and I don't know where the hell the cow come from. Because at the end of the day, we all are striving to do what? Oops, sorry. To feed ourselves and feed our family. It is a blessing if you can grow your cow, harvest your cow, your hog. There is people that won't ever be able to do it. So right now, with the cost of everything, Lord knows what they're paying for farm-raised, grass-fed, organic. Come on, y'all know. There ain't a damn thing truth about organic. Well, I mean, I guess if you're in this big building and nothing comes in from the sky, you can be as organic as you possibly can, but there's still leakage. And it's angering me because so many people are feeling bad about themselves. I don't feel bad because I'm going to eat. And then as I grow and get established again, I've got the wisdom, I have the age, I have the experience to get back to that if it's in God's will that I do. But he did not tell us to be submissive to this stigma of organic or only raise your own. Well, I guess I'm going to have to pay $9 a pound because that's what everybody says to do. Well, damn it, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. I'm here to tell you it's okay. I'm okay. Now, would I like different? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd like different. But right now, it's not in the cards for me right now. But this is, and I'm smiling. So, hey, if nobody else tells y'all different, Lippy's going to tell you different. If you find a bonus like this, I'm going to happy dance for you. Because we're all just trying to survive and eat. We'll worry about the other technical difficulties down the road. But the road we're traveling on now, don't veer off and try to find organic and farm-raised unless you got a buttload of money. But something tells me you like all of us. You just trying to make it. Trying to live right, live by the word, and to do the best that you can for yourself and your family, and if you have extra, for your friends. So, I guess I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm going to get my meat put up the ground. I'm going to get these, boy, man, this camera today. I bought the butt country style ribs, and that's what we're going to can today. Because I don't remember who asked me, but I call them beef tips. Y'all, there ain't no beef in the word pork. But we call them beef tips. It's just the way we roll. So I'll get all of this done. I got my canner sitting over here. I'll show you what I do with it. And we're just gonna do a step-by-step, simple. I'm not gonna throw a bunch of crazy stuff in there. We're just gonna do the basics. And then when we're done, I'm gonna tell you what I turn these into. You can make all kinds of recipes if you just stick to the basics. Now you can do you some stews and soups and all of that. Well, I get tired of that. So I just do the basics, and then when I want stews, I make stew out of it. But we'll get into that towards the end. All right, I gotta get this meat put up. Y'all stay with me now. Hope I didn't make y'all mad. Surely I didn't make you mad. I just had a fit on me just then. Just blows my mind. But me and you, all y'all, we know what time of day it is. It's the day that we take care of our family. That's what day it is. I got all the ground meat and the ground pork done. I ended up with 21 servings. That's quite a bit, y'all. Quite a bit. But I moved to the flank steaks before we moved to the actual main substance of the video, and that's canning pork tips. But some of you may know how, some of you may not. But when you're making jerky, and especially flank steak, let me show y'all something. Okay, here is our flank steak. Now, normally on meat, you cut across the grain, not with the grain. But when you're dealing with flank steak, you can see these veins in here. This is the grain. You're actually cutting with the grain when you're cutting flank steak. This would be away from the grain, with the grain. And I cut my jerky with the grain. So I'll just do a couple of them. Let me sharpen my knife. Okay, here we go. Make sure it's all feathered out. It's very cold. Now, I'm gonna come in and I'm just gonna score it, okay? There's my first cut, okay? And I'm giving about 3/4 to an inch of width. Okay, let me just throw this over here. I'm not worried about the thickness, but let's start with our first one. Now, I'm just gonna do a piece about like that. But he doesn't like the long pieces. He likes the shorter pieces. Since I got the camera going, I'm just gonna show y'all. You see how thick that is? I'm just gonna thin it out really good. Then I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna fillet it down. And there you have it. Oh, y'all can see good. Okay, here is my pork pieces. Here is the pieces of bone that's in your pork ribs and some fat. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put, I've got 4 cups of water. Let's see how many it takes. I just wanna, so it took 4 cups. And I'm gonna put this on the stove and I'm gonna season it. Okay, I've got my pork bones, fat, and trimming sitting on about a number 6. We got 4 cups of water. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of garlic powder and about a tablespoon of coarse ground black pepper. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this up to a boil, turn it down, and simmer it for about an hour. This is going to be the stock that we're going to add to our jars. Here's our tips, and we're going to go ahead and get them seasoned. Now, I'm not adding salt to this because we're going to be adding a half a teaspoon of canning salt to our jars. If you were doing quarts, it'd be a teaspoon. So I don't want to over salt this, depending on what recipe I want to use. So I'm just going to do it with garlic powder and coarse black pepper. Now I will be browning mine. I will not be raw packing. If you were raw packing, you would simply pack your jars, add a half a teaspoon of canning salt, and proceed from there. There we go. Now I'm just going to cover this, set it to the side. Yeah, it's cloudy. I hear thunder. We might get some rain. But I'm going to show y'all something. What do we have here? One little peck. That's the fig tree that Mr. Danny at Deep South Homestead gifted me back in March. Y'all watched me plant it. And Lippy gets to eat a fig. It's one, but I'm taking you somewhere else. Y'all remember we planted that satsuma. Because, you know, when you get to your new home place, if you're able, start your fruit trees. Not your garden, start your fruit trees. They take the longest. But look here, let me show you this one. That's my satsuma tree. Look, y'all. It's showing signs of turning. And that is a delicious fig. Some of you may not know, but I love figs. And we actually have 5 fig trees planted around the property. My nose itches. But this really goes back to the beginning of the video. By no means do I mean don't take great advice. Learn from others if you don't know. I learn something every day. The lemon tree. Y'all know what this is saying? It says one. One is a blessing. Let today be the first day that you steadfast move forward each day. But don't wreck your finances. Don't leap too far without knowledge. And be proud and thankful for however your food comes in that you prepare. There is a lot of people out there with gardens and cattle and chickens, and that is your dream. And I'm talking to the young folks, well, even mid-age. Learn. But don't be ashamed if you don't have those things at this moment. Because we're all trying to fight this battle. And y'all, it's a battle to regain freedom, freedom to choose, the freedom to bear. And none of us should look down upon ourselves in comparison to what thy neighbor has. Just be proud. I'm very proud. I'm proud I got me 1 fig. I have 1 satsuma. I have 1 lemon. But I have something. You see? Buddy and I are taking baby steps again, rebuilding our life. So I want to be that inspiration that says it's okay to go to Wally World and hit the mother lode of a good deal. that meat ain't gonna take my life. Lord's gonna call me when he's ready. Now, I'm not saying go eat a Snicker bar every day of your life, but it's okay to choose different that fits your budget. That's all I'm trying to say. Now I'm gonna sit here while my meat simmers down, and I'm gonna enjoy this breeze. There went my muscadines, but that's okay. I'll pick them back up, and I hope I get a little rain shower. Y'all, this is absolutely delicious. I want y'all to look at this broth. It is beautiful. Now I will skim the top, but look at this. I'm getting my pot heated up. I have about 2 tablespoons of lard in here. You can use vegetable oil, lard. I'm not a fan of olive oil when I'm braising meat to can. It will give you a little back taste, but now you see it's very hot. So, and you're gonna have to do this in batches. You don't want to crowd your meat because then it's gonna steam. And all we're doing is browning this. Now I'm sitting on about an 8, so we're close to high. I mean, just a couple of minutes, y'all. We're just trying to get some browning marks. Okay, while the meat's browning, I examined my lid. I made sure that I could see through the port. You want to make sure that it is clear through and through. Now, I do have some olive oil, and I take it and I run it in between this gasket. Now, I do change my gasket every year, but I saved my old one. But I normally keep 3 to 4 gaskets put up. But you never know, so if it's not, doesn't look damaged, go ahead and put it up. But I do like to change mine. We're on our last batch of browning the pork tips. I'm going to be adding a ½ teaspoon of canning salt. If you were using quarts, it would be a teaspoon. Okay, our meat is brown. As you can see, it's warm, smoking. I'm gonna let this sit and cool off, not cold, but cool off to where I can handle it with my hands. We're starting off room temperature jars, room temperature water in the pressure canner, so I need everything pretty much room temperature. See those little char marks? Oh, my word. That's flavor right there, y'all. This is Flavor Town at its finest. We're ready to jar up. Okay, remember I've got my ½ teaspoon of canning salt. Now there is juice at the bottom of this pot, but as you can see, I'm keeping the juice off of it. Now, you're gonna have to come in with your hands and pack. But this does help keep a little bit of the oil off the rim of the jar. Now we will be debubbling. I can get a couple of more in here. Okay, I'm gonna add some of this broth. Now remember, this meat is gonna have still more juice in it. So you don't wanna overfill. Now I'm gonna debubble very, very well. Remember, it's still going to release some more juices. Now, if it was raw pack, I would add about 2 tablespoons of water or broth. And that's basically just to make sure your meat's covered. Okay, for sake of video and save time, I'm just going to do this one jar. I do have vinegar on this rag. I'm cleaning the top of my jar well. I'm going to add my flat, my ring, just finger tight, guys. Do not crank down. It will bend your flats. It will cause seepage. Okay, we've got all our jars in here. Let me show y'all. Now I leave 1 inch headspace, okay, where the meat is. There is 7 wide mouth pints. This canner holds 8 at the bottom. Okay, this is a double stack. So I took the leftover pork broth and I'm gonna add it and I'll mark it. That will make great dumplings. Okay, we've got our lid on and we're gonna mash. And this is when we turn the stove on. Now I know that a number 8 is where I need to be, actually a number 7, for it to start coming up to steam. Okay, we've got our stove set on a 7, well, my stove. I'm looking for a steam, a continuous steam here. Not one that I can break, not a spit and a sputter, a steady steam. Once it reaches steam, we will set the timer for 10 minutes before we set our jiggler, because once we set the jiggler, that's when we start building pressure. The gauge is basically just a guide. I'm going to go between a 10 and 11 to keep a steady pressure, but my eyes will concentrate on the jiggler. If it's jumping too fast, it's not in correct pressure. But I'll show y'all. Okay, while we wait for it to come up to steam, I gotta clean the kitchen, get ready for supper. Y'all, I cannot stress it enough. Ball books. Now, this recipe, it came from the ball book. I'm trying to remember which one that I grabbed. I can't remember. But they're pretty much in every ball book. I just grabbed these 2 to show you guys. Look, I understand rebel canning, but you beginners, invest in a ball book, the latest and greatest. It will lead you down the right path, and you will learn as you go. So, I had to say it. Y'all know I do. I preach it. I should be a ball representative. Here's our steady steam. Now we're gonna count 10 minutes. Okay, it's been steaming for 10 minutes. We're gonna set the jiggler and watch it come to pressure, and when it does, the jiggler should start dancing. Not rap dancing now, just a good little sway. Okay, y'all, we have reached pressure, and our jiggler is not going crazy. It's steady, and I did drop my temp on my stove down to a 4, because that's the sweet spot. Now, if I didn't say it before, we're going to time this now for 75 minutes since we've reached pressure. If it was a quart, it's 90 minutes. So set your timer for 75 minutes for pints, but you don't start timing till you reach pressure. The jars are out, but I wanted to show you there was no seepage, meaning siphoning. The water level was correct at 3/4 of the way. Now let's look at the jars. There's our broth. I cannot wait to make dumplings with that. Here's our pork. It's still bubbling. But you see, this was the jar that was last, and I didn't have quite enough of meat, but I leveled my liquid correctly. So we just sit and wait till in the morning. It's 8 o'clock at night. Yes, it's late. It's been a long day, but there you have my pork tips. I am tickled pink. Y'all, we couldn't be more blessed right now. Just some more meat on the shelf. So I hope you enjoy this video. I can't remember who asked for this, but I hope it made sense. Yes, I do take a little bit extra steps, but I tell you what, the flavor is in these jars. So, as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. See you on the next one.